Kiev during World War II, a famous football match took place between the Nazi occupiers and prisoners who once played in the Soviet League. Now, it's been called the death match in later years, and it's pretty much just stuff of legend and has been turned into numerous films and stuff like that. But the story may not be as bad, let's say, as it seems. Now, the story often goes that the SS warned the players not to beat the Nazis or they would face execution, but the players heroically defied the Nazis' orders, beat them in front of a crowd of locals, and they were all executed shortly afterwards. But even in the 60s, the Soviet government had to accept that only 4 players were executed, but they were all executed at a later date, and this had nothing to do with the football match. So many of the players actually survived. So these footballers were not only written out of history, but they also had to keep a very low profile, and some were in fact sent to gulags for cooperating with the Nazis. After all, they played a football match with them. And one, from what I've read anyway, escaped with the Germans and fled to Canada after the war. So this proves that not all the players were killed, and there's some other big holes in the story as well. For instance, eyewitnesses say that the referee wasn't biased. They also said that the players weren't warned to lose by the SS, and they said thousands of people paid to see the game, etc, etc, etc. Now, of course, it sounds like I'm defending the SS and the Nazis, but obviously I'm not. What I think, though, is that there's a more interesting story behind the story. In Ukraine during World War II, and in Kiev in particular, a lot of people collaborated with the Nazis. In fact, a lot of the foreign SS units, well, some of the largest foreign SS units came from here in Ukraine. So when the Soviets retook Kiev in Ukraine, they needed stories of defiance. Of course, there were some, but this obviously was one of the few that they pushed forward. So this myth of the death match was born.